counting agents are also asked to keep the noise down, as this will assist the process. The ballot papers will be verified in bundles of 25. So finally, further announcements will be made during the course of tonight's proceedings to keep you informed of progress. We are now at the start, and I confirm that verification can begin. Thank you.
Okay. The count has begun. No, that's all right. We're going to results from an exit poll, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the exit poll surround?
Massive Tory majority.
Really?
Which I'm quite shocked by. So, Tory 368, Labour 191, people are Lib Dems down 13 each, SNP and 55. So, I'm really
I'm disappointed in one way. I'm not allowed to. I'm in a particularly sensitive place in that last time. But I personally, I just know that it wasn't that way. But on the other hand, the French moved as well. So the pound has been moving up against the euro. So there was a silver crown, a silver line for the country.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
So there we have it. We begin. Sorry about the slight delay in getting the sound going. All the information has been passed across. All the people have been told. Anybody tampering in this area? So if you're looking down, this is the exact counting hall where the Aylesbury votes come in. Then at the back you see a little door right in the middle that takes you through to the Oculus room where the Buckingham count is done. So looking at these tables, on the left hand side and the right hand side, the brown ones, on the inside, on the left side of the table, they're the people that will be counting the vote, and on the right side, that's for people just to watch them counting the vote. So very interesting. People do watch, and they do feel, I'm not intimidated, but I feel it's like if you're doing your homework. You're going to be, stop watching it. So the same thing on the left hand side, on the inside, so the right side of the table is the counters on the left side. So on the outside of the table basically, you've got people who are watching the people on the inside count. So once they're counted out, I think they're bundled into 25 and then put onto the white table in the centre. Now we're not allowed to zoom in. This is as far as we're allowed in. For one simple reason, we're not allowed to see how the votes are being marked on the ballot papers. So I hope this is an interesting insight into how an election votes are counted. You enjoy yourselves. Keep the comments coming. Don't forget to like, share us. We are there. I'm going to try and get somebody into the studio. So I've been working hard, getting the studio ready. Well, it's not really a studio, it's an office that we're utilising. And the Aylesbury Town Council, Aylesbury Valley District Council have been very nice to allow us to have this room. So if you've got anybody worth on this piece, and I'll also make sure I tidy up before we cut to our cameras.
Yeah.
You can see the box here. You take it there, unsecure so to speak, and then placed on the tables for the counts to begin. So as you can see, table 4 has bed break, that's right in front of us. Can't zoom in, so I can't really tell you what's exactly going on with table 3's 2 on 1. I mean, I can go and have a look at it now. But the race thing, it's going to be a busy night. About 5 o'clock, and we'll try through the night to get some candidates. So here's a question. I'm going to give you 12 minutes to decide whether you want me to keep the stream going so you can constantly see the count going on. Maybe you've got a friend down there, don't know. Or I close it down and only open it up when we come to the results, come to certain points when we're speaking to candidates, and maybe at some points, I think when the postal votes are done. Choice is yours. You have 12 minutes. Now we're in the media room, so there's going to be loads of talking going on in the background. I have to leave the door open because of our cables, but I'm sure you like to see the area where all the votes are being counted for the Aylesbury area. All these tables in front are for Aylesbury, and out the back, see in the middle of the screen at the top is the Oculus room. We can't go in there, we're not allowed to go in there. There is some photos I will dig out and put them on there, so, or maybe you can look it up on Facebook yourselves, or look it up on the internet, on Google, do a search and find out what it looks like. Very impressive, to be fair. If you've got any questions, please send it to us. We are going to get everybody in to have chats now and then. Now we do hope you enjoy this broadcast or this live stream. You know what it is. Please let us have your comments. Just drop a little note. So if you had any questions about what goes on during the count, we have PR up in this media area, so we can ask them the questions. We might even see if we can get Paul to come and have a chat. Sarah Jane Clark, welcome to the feed. When you're watching, got a question? Should have a quick look at the stats for Aylesbury in 2017. See if we can put them up on the screen for you. Did this earlier. If you had to caught the stream. Just trying to work out exactly how I can put this up for you in an easier way. Let's have a look at Aylesbury first. So you can still see the count going on in the middle there. Top left, middle. Top left, sorry. It's been a long night already. So in 2017, we had David Livington standing. He had a 55% majority with 30% Labour in second place. Stephen Lambert, Liberal Democrats, 9.6%. BJ Saru, 2.2% for the UKIP, and Coral Simpson, 2.1% of the vote in 2017. Now all we have is the forward candidates, which is Rob Butler for Conservative this year, or this election, Coral Simpson for the Green Party, Liz Hine for the Labour Party, and Stephen Lambert for the Liberal Democrats. So we've got this information from the Democratic dashboard, all these figures. So is it going to be an interesting change? Is the Conservatives going to be removed from their seat and Labour take over? The trend has been happening up 14.9% from 2015 to 2017. And with the EU referendum, the Leave was 51.79% and the Remain was 48.21%. So like I said, they're due to finish probably about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I have been hearing the numbers are quite high and well done for everybody for voting. And there we go, there's the people counting away, making sure democracy is upheld. Again, Buckingham's going to be an interesting seat with maybe standing for quite a few years, but we do have Greg Smith, Antonio Daniel Vitello of the English Democrats. Sorry, Greg Smith was of the Conservative and Unionist Party, which is known as Conservatives. Stephen Thompson of the who's an Independent. David Morgan of the Labour Party, Stephen Dorrell of the Liberal Democrats, and Andrew Bell, the Brexit Party. So obviously Andrew Bell and Greg Smith talking to me yesterday, which is very nice of them. Now I am going to run around and try and find some people to interview. Whatever you like to see in the studio as well, or in this office that we've acquired. So I've dispatched PR to go and find some of the candidates, see if we can interview them. So he's on the search for the Aylesbury and Buckingham candidates. Here's an interesting thing. We do have, if you look down there, you've got the tables on the left and the right hand side, which are the brown ones. Anybody on the outside who interferes with the votes can have a 6-month jail term or about, I think it's £5,000 fine. So if I was on the outside, I'd keep well away from what the people are doing on the inside of those tables. Okay, finally found the information. We've got the ballots box allocation. So we've got what? Table 3. Table 3, who's in front of us, which is Mandeville and Elm Farm Southport. There's William Harding School, Olympic Village, Stoke Mandeville Stadium, Southport Community Centre, Church of the Good Shepherd, Southport. So if you look at table 3, that's where all your votes are coming in. So they've already started counting, as you can see. Yeah. So table 7, the nearest. This is all for Aylesbury. We have Gatehouse, Lacey Green, Speen and the Hamdens, Birdlow and Brandon. So we've got Hayden Abbey School, Great Hamden Village Hall, Lacey Green Village Hall, Speen Village Hall, Ledlow Village Hall, Ledlow Ridge Village Hall. Seems like repeated. And Brandon Cricket Club Pavilion and the Golden Cross. So if you placed your vote anywhere in those areas, that's where your votes will be counted on table 7. So table 2, look at table 2. That's at the Watermead Great Hewenden. So if you voted, your votes will be counted on that table. So it's Watermead Village Hall, the School Room Weedon, Knapp Hill Village Hall, Hewenden Valley Village Hall, Great Kings Hill Village Hall, and Church of the Good Shepherd, Widmer End. And right at the back behind that is actually table 1. So actually, the ballot box is 17, 18, 19 and 20. So that's Aston Clinton, Stoke Mandeville. So the Anthony Hall, Aston Clinton, Buckland Village Hall, Stoke Mandeville Methodist Church and Western Turville Village Hall. Go on to 8, which is on the left in the middle there. So if you voted in the Elmhurst Walton Court and Hawkslade area, Alfred Rose Park Community Centre, Walton Court Community Centre and Hawkslade Farm Community Centre, that's where your votes are going to be counted, and I believe that's number 9 at the back there. You've got Riverside Central and Moulton, and their ballot box numbers are 37, 38, 39, 23, 24, 25. And you've got Quarren and Meadowcroft Community Centre, Hayden Hill Community Centre, Berryfield Community Suite, Walden Parish Hall, Methodist Church Hall and the Grange School. Interesting. There you go. The other areas we can't see. They're behind where the bridge is, which is where we have our camera. So earlier, Teresa Lane was the acting returning officer. She'll be reading out the results later. She was just reading out the rules to us all on how things would go, what information was going on. Would like to have streamed that, but unfortunately it wasn't set up just in that nick of time. But it does seem to be getting busy down there. All the accounts going on.
There are 4 candidates in the building.
columns here.
Where do you want?
Okay, here we go. We've got Paul Griffiths with us for the PR and media manager. And he's going to give us a breakdown. So I'm just going to put the screen across so you can see Paul. Give us a wave, Paul.
Hi.
Actually, you can see me. I like seeing the picture of the screen just there. So we hope you're enjoying it. So, Paul, could you just quickly explain what's going on? Because we had a little chat just a minute ago. So tell us exactly how it's all going. And
Well, what people are seeing now, the verification count. The first
Has
one has
happened.
done,
All
all
the
the
ballot
ballot
boxes
boxes
come in from the 178 polling stations around Aylesbury and Buckingham constituencies. They arrive in our building, they have to then be opened, and the first thing we have to do is count all the ballot papers to make sure that the ballot papers we have from the ballot boxes match the number of ballot papers that we have issued. So that's called a verification. So that started at about 10:30 this evening, and that's going to carry on till about 1 o'clock this morning. And when they've done that, we'll know what the turnout has been like. And after that, the staff get a short break, 15-minute break, and then we go into counting the number of votes cast for each of the candidates in the two constituencies.
Okay, so earlier on when I said they were counting, I got it totally wrong. It's the verification, making sure that all the votes there correlate and everything's ticked.
Yeah, they're not looking at what's on the ballot papers, they're not looking at whether they've been spoiled, they're not looking to see who's voted for who. At the moment, they're purely counting the number of papers in the boxes to make sure that matches the number of ballot papers we believe we've issued.
Okay. So have we got an idea of the turnout, kind of high, medium, low?
Indications from people coming back from the polling stations are they've had quite a busy day. So we're expecting quite a high turnout. Some people have been saying it was as high as the referendum, which was obviously a very high turnout compared to a general election. So it seems to be that there is a high turnout. We'll know precisely what the turnout has been when they've concluded the verification count. That also tells us how many of the 170 electors.
You did this earlier, and I was like, you lost me halfway through. So 170,000.
There's 170,111 electors in the Buckingham
So
and Aylesbury
voters.
Voters.
I know you say electors.
Voters.
To me, that's like, voters.
So they're people who are registered to vote.
So 170,111.
Yeah, across both constituencies. So I don't know the split between Aylesbury and Buckingham constituency. But
maybe we can find that out.
I can try and find that out.
That's a challenge for you.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So that's quite a lot, really, isn't it, to count?
It's a good number. We've got 144 people in there at the moment, counting up
in both rooms.
In both rooms, counting up all the ballot papers, and they'll be here. They arrive at 9:30 this evening, and they'll be working through till 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock in the morning.
We hope that the result will come at about 5. It depends on a number of factors. It depends how close it is. It depends on whether one or other of the candidates feels there's a need for a recount. That can extend it.
Was there 3 recounts last 2017?
It's possible. I don't know. I only joined.
Somebody said that to me. Sorry.
Yeah, they might have been. I only joined AVDC in February this year, so this is my first general election.
I'd like to say, by the way, thank you so much for the hospitality you've given me. Short notice, straight in there. Couple of hours today, trying to organise where, how, and what we're doing, where. Absolutely brilliant.
So we'd like to do our best, and I think it's important to keep local residents informed of what's going on. You know, we're going to have 2 new MPs for both Aylesbury and Buckingham, because obviously the sitting MPs are both retired, David Iddington and John Burko. So this is going to be a first, for a number of years, because both of those were long-standing MPs, so it's going to be interesting tonight.
This question, John Burko, what was his job in Parliament?
He was the Speaker of the House.
See, I got tongue-tied yesterday, I couldn't remember that, and I was speaking to Andrew Bell. He didn't even bail me out, he just let me squirm for like 5 minutes. I was trying to remember, and everybody who I know is having a great laugh at my expense for that one. There's also another thing, I believe. Is it the first time this has been live streamed?
This is the first time it's been live streamed.
That's good to see. I like hearing that, so that's brilliant. Right. So, going on from here, so we've probably got to 1 o'clock in the morning. You said some candidates are in as well?
We believe that, when I was down on the floor, there were 4 candidates in watching, and most of them will come in at some point during the evening.
Do they stay to the end?
Or they're normally here. Certainly they will all be here. I would imagine they'll all be here for the announcement at 5 o'clock in the morning to see how the poll has gone.
Oh no, I was wondering if they came in early, they stayed all the way to the end, or did they go off and come back a few hours later? They try and work out how many people.
Most will stay. I would think most will stay. They're here. If you go down to the floor, you'll see there's the tellers, the people who are sitting watching, making sure that the count is going, representing each of the parties and each of the candidates. They're sitting watching the counting assistants doing the count to make sure that everything is above board and fair, and that the count is being done appropriately and properly. And they're here with their supporters. Our cafe here is open all night, so a number of them are gathered in there with their supporters, waiting to see the outcome, see how well the campaign has gone for them.
I can imagine. I mean, it's a long day, isn't it?
It's a very long day, and it's been a long campaign, because obviously we got quite short notice. Our electoral services team had to, first of all, we had to make sure that everyone who wanted to vote was on the electoral register.
I hadn't thought
that was a big campaign.
Yeah, that is a massive load of organisation. You're talking 171,111. 170,111. See, I'm going to get it right. So you've got all that to organise. So you've got to send out. Sorry, carry on. So you've got to send out all the.
You've got to do the electoral register and make sure people are on the electoral register. You've got to then send out all the ballot papers. You've got by post. You've got to split out those people who've asked for a postal vote. And we have 25,000 people who asked for a postal vote, so they must get a different polling card to say that your postal vote is on its way.
Okay.
And then, of course, those. Right, it depends on how many people voted, but up to 25,000 postal votes could have come in. And then all during the day, we had. I was with the electoral services team, and their phones were going all day today. People had turned up and said, "I'm not on the electoral register, I can't vote," and then discovered that actually the real reason was they'd turned up to the wrong polling station. So they had to go down the road to the polling station next door. We've had very bad weather today. We had a couple of polling stations where there was intermittent power cuts, so we had to obviously check to make sure, particularly with it being a December election, first time since the 1920s that we've had a December election. And of course, it got dark quite early on with the polls not closing until 10 p.m. So the fact that we had power problems at some of our polling stations was a big issue that we had to deal with, and make sure that people could still get to the polling station and cast their vote.
So there's no backup generator, is there? It's usually schools, community centres and stuff like that. So what happens if that... So as that happened?
We would have to bring a generator on site, and we would have to bring emergency lighting on site.
So you couldn't move it to another location?
You couldn't move it.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, because that's where people have been told they will go and be able to cast their vote. There are some villages where we know, like the village hall maybe can't be used, so we put a caravan in the car park and things like that.
Okay.
If the worst came to the worst, I had a gazebo in the back of my car in readiness to go out if we had to move outside. So there's all sorts of eventualities that the team have to plan for. So it's a very slick operation, and done in a very tight timetable. Because obviously we didn't know that we could start the full preparation until the general election was announced. So there's nothing we could do really in advance of that announcement to plan for it. So it all had to be done within the 6 weeks.
So you'd know at the same time as everybody else does?
We knew the same time as everybody else.
Don't get that little, hey, get it ready.
No, we have to wait for the warrant to arrive. We get a special delivery from the postman with a letter from Her Majesty the Queen saying that she has called the general election.
Is it signed by the Queen?
It's a facsimile signature, but it is a personal letter, a formal letter.
Can we see that?
Comes. Yeah.
That would be nice to see. I don't think
I'll see if I can dig it out.
I didn't even know that even happened. If you could, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, just to take some pictures. It might be on my phone still.
Yeah,
I took some pictures when it arrived.
That's just one of the things that, official warrant from the Queen. I think that's quite. I don't know. Some people might call me sad, but I think these sort of things, you don't know what goes behind the scenes. I mean, especially with elections. You go to the ballot box, for instance, especially when you're younger, do your vote, and then get a pub and wait for the results to come in. Or, family get together, have some drinks, blah, blah, blah. But actually, for all the people behind us, I'm going to be here till the early hours as well with you guys. It is quite a lot, isn't it?
There's
the amount of man hours,
huge operation.
Do we know the cost of running, obviously, counting all these votes from start to end, how much it costs? It's not that I want to have a go about it.
No.
It's just one of those things that'd be nice to know. And I'm sure
that's a statistic we must know, because in fact it comes from general taxation. So we get all the costs together and then we submit our bill. So it doesn't come out of, say, council tax. Council tax doesn't pay for it. It comes from general taxation. So we must know the figure. So it must be possible. And I would imagine that the figure is in public domain. So
that's why I'm just it's not like I'm trying to get something out of that.
No.
But I just think
there is a cost to democracy.
Yeah.
And clearly that's why I think we'd like to encourage as many people to make sure they vote. And it looks like they have turned out in good numbers this time.
Hopefully I helped. I did have a thing about, for me, with people coming out, I did say if you're willing to wear a poppy, you must be willing to come and vote, because people do die and have died for us to be able to have democracy and being able to vote. So get off your bums. I know it's cold, I know it's wet, I know it's dark. Your fault for not getting out earlier.
Well, I think we're going to find that people have turned out in good numbers, and that's great, because it means that the team here have done a good job in getting the paperwork out to people, making sure they're properly informed. We put out a lot of social media posts to let people know when the registration deadline was, when the postal vote deadline was, when the proxy vote deadline was, letting them know how they could find out where their polling station was if they'd misplaced their polling card, to let them know they didn't have to have a polling card to go to the polling station.
I did tell them today.
So that's so there's been a lot of work in the background. So when we know a good number of people have turned out, that's great. And of course, the candidates and their supporters have been out campaigning hard over the last 6 weeks as well. So I'm sure that they whatever the outcome, the fact they know a lot of people have gone out and have expressed their opinion through the ballot box is going to be applauded.
I can't wait to see the figures come in. I mean, to me, there's a lot going on in this election. I know we can't obviously discuss it really.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, we can't discuss anything really. I can with the candidates when we finally track them down, and Now Paul's doing a great thing here. He's going to track them down for me and bring them up, or escort them up, isn't it?
Yes, I can do that. I suppose you want them here in the studio?
Do, yeah, in the studio, if you can call it that. Is it my office?
Your studio?
Oh, yeah, it'd be nice to call it a studio, wouldn't it? Yeah, actually, I think it is. It's a makeshift studio. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Paul, once again, thanks for looking after me
Pleasure.
and allowing everybody else to see what's going on, for all the counting, and we'll let them go back to watching that and
Enjoy
good
the
luck on
election.
rounding them up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that was nice of Paul to come and join us and tell us how it all goes on. So at the moment we've got verification. Not until 1 o'clock in the morning will we have, well, probably around 1 o'clock. They start doing a count once everything is verified. If it's not verified, they have to recount and re-verify. But other than that, we'll allow you to still watch all the people who are currently verifying. I have noticed people from certain clubs, you can see the rosettes on them. So looks like we've got a Labour supporter there on the right. And my sound keeps cutting out from my mobile sound. So I do apologise. Did happen on the feed earlier as well. Now I'm going to take a little walk and have a look over the balcony so I can see better. There's a little window. Hopefully my mobile microphone will allow me. So on the left, actually it's quite interesting, on the left you can see the people are standing up. You've got Labour and you've got Conservatives. I think you've got the Green Party down on the left. I think that's one of the candidates actually. And they're keeping themselves busy. So if I quickly pop in, I think it's Paul Simpson down there. And also, I believe he lives behind Whiteley around here. And my roaming mic's working pretty well. So I'm out. Yeah. Oh, starting to leave. So the Green Party as well, down there on the left. And on the right, we've got the Labour. It's not. Yeah. We've got Conservatives. Trying to see the person just down on the left. I think you can. Got Liberal Dems down there as well, checking, seeing how the verification is going. Hopefully Paul's going to get a few of those candidates. Do ask us any questions. If you found all this information very interesting, do put on the feed. Kirsty Porter, hello, you're watching. Yeah, do put on the feed, or do put it on here, put the comments. We can ask Paul any questions. We've got Jeff as well, Jez here as well. He's working with the ABDC as the Bale District Council. They will get us information if we require or anything. Now see, media is not allowed So I'm not allowed to actually go down on that floor. I am only allowed up on this bridge. And also, I don't know what's going on around the country, so if people could also update me to what's going on. Honestly, that would be quite interesting. As you see, there's a ballot box coming in. When does that go for table 3? Oh, table 4's got quite a few. Putting the bundles into 25. Oh, here we go. Table 3. Open up the ballot box. Just trying to work out. Try to find the information on who that was. What area? Mandeville and Elm Farm. So if you were Mandeville and Elm Farm, there's all the ballot boxes being opened, but they'll be empty. Put on that brown table on the right, and then they'll start counting. Here comes another ballot box. As you see, the seals are still on it. You probably can't make it out, but I can from where I am. Down to table 7. Lacy green. You can see table 3 there on the right, just taking out all those ballot papers, and they're getting ready to start to segregate them. You can start to see they're unfolding them and then just smoothing them out, making them nice and neat, so they're easy to count. Table 4 seems to be well organised. I don't know obviously when they got their ballot boxes in. Didn't really see it coming in because interviewing Paul. But they've sorted through quite a few there. Oh, here comes another couple of ballot boxes. I don't know what table they're going to. Ah, table 2, there you go. Great Hewenden. As they start to do their counting. Hewenden Valley, so that must have obviously come a long way. One of the furthest places out. You can see the people around the sides there. They're just watching over, making sure they're from each of the parties, making sure the count's being done correctly, which is all verification. It's just kind of open on table 2. Got those ballots open. Here comes another ballot box for the Aston Pink and Stoke Mandeville area. Sorry, coughing. Apologies. Now this is one of our first time actually broadcasting this, which is quite amazing. I love live streaming. I do hope you're enjoying this. Now, what the biggest thing is there any more ballot boxes? None more at the moment. So any questions, please ask us and we will try and find the information for you. Oh, here we go, a couple more ballot boxes. Wonder where they're coming from. These white tables is obviously once they've been bunched into 25, I believe. I'll ask Paul in a minute as he walks by now and then. Quite great if you have another couple of ballot boxes. Seems like there are quite a few votes there. So as you can see, these people, you can kind of see. People on the right, as you can see, they're sorting out. So on the right tables and the left tables. So the people inside will be sorted into 25s, and I think they then go onto the white tables. The people on the right hand side, on the outside of these tables, oh, they seem to be marking stuff now. If I could go down there, I'd ask them a few questions, but I think they're marking how many piles. Looks like they're doing tally charts from what I can make out. So remember, at the moment it's all for verification. All this is at the moment, but probably to about 1 o'clock is verification. Making sure that everything tallies up, as Paul explained to us, that the amount of votes that come in, that they count, tallies with all the paperwork that they filled in before they sent the ballot boxes over. When they all tally up, they can then begin the count. There's also, they'll then start doing the count on the postal votes as well. So, looks like, just found the information. So what you're looking at now is called the street. So this is the gateway. The gateway is where the ABDC is, and in front of us is the street, and this is where all the counts at Aylesbury happen, and the surrounding area, so the Aylesbury Constituency area. And then behind that, in the middle, at the top, see that you can see a door there, see an opening, that's the Oculus, that's chambers in there where the Buckingham count is going on. Now some of the candidates are here and we are going to try and interview them if we can. So the count process. The verification will commence at 10:30 on Thursday the 12th of December, which just wasn't really in time for when Teresa was explaining. The acting returning officer will explain what will be happening at the start, which he did. Verifying of the votes. The purpose of the verification is to check that the total number of ballot papers in the ballot boxes at each polling station matches the number that was issued by the polling staff. This will be carried out as follows. Each table will verify the boxes that they have been allocated. The ballot papers will be counted face up and sorted into bundles of 25. The verified ballot papers will be put onto the tables behind the supervisor until all the ballot papers for the polling stations have been counted and tallied with the ballot paper account. The ballot boxes containing postal votes will be dealt with in the same manner and those dealt with during the day and will be verified first. Each table will have a postal ballot box. The boxes containing postal votes handed in at the polling stations will be transported to the count area as soon as they have been processed. The supervisor will keep the verified papers in the containers at their table. Count staff will be allowed a break once their table has been verified. So they can't have a break until everything's verified. The count will begin once all tables have verified and had a break. Maybe we'll have a break then ourselves, or stop the feed and then come back so I can have a break. Unless anybody wishes to be part of this meeting. Anyway, so once the process is done, so it's done here, we then get on to sorting and counting of votes. The ballot papers will be sorted face up into bundles 25 according to the candidates voted for. The bundles will be checked and then put onto the table behind the supervisor in the relevant design space for the candidate. Right, so I'm starting to understand how things are. Right. There's a little bit here about doubtful paper. Any doubtful papers identified during the count stage will be dealt with as follows. Table supervisors will clear the papers where the voting intention is obvious, showing them to the counting agents, and if no objection is made, put them into the count. Any paper which is felt should be rejected, or where there is any where a counting agent has objected, will be left in the tray for adjudication. For Aylesbury, the acting returning officer, Teresa Lane, will ask election agents to join her at the relevant table to deal with the doubtful papers. If the ally will also accompany Teresa to assist with this process. For Buckingham, the deputy acting returning officer, Andrew Small, will ask election agents to join him at the relevant table to deal with the doubtful papers. Laura Lee Briggs will also accompany Andrew to assist with the process. Then after all that, the declaration. Once each table has finished their count and the acting returning officer or the deputy acting returning officer satisfies that all paperwork and figures are agreed, she will confirm the result for each constituency. The Aylesbury announcement will be in the streets, which is where we are looking here, and the Buckingham announcement will be in the Oculus, even though you never know, for the purpose of our cameras and me not having to cart all my equipment down there, they might do it in the street so our cameras can pick them up. We never know. They've been so helpful, AGDC. So, still in the verification process. So we're in the gatehouse with all these people as they verify all the votes that are coming over the areas, over the Aylesbury and Buckinghamshire areas. So as you can see, everything's still carrying on. Everything's being verified. Currently busy verifying those. No ballot boxes. Can't see any more coming in at the moment. What you're looking at is just the Aylesbury votes being counted, verified. And that way, if I take away the verification process box, just behind there, as you can see, close it, you can see to the right there's a door, and there's the Oculus room where the button count is going on. We do have the mainstream media here. We have Sky, also I think BBC somewhere. Paul Griffiths earlier explained to us what exactly this process is. As it's 170,111 people have the ability to vote. Still don't know the proportion of how many have voted, as they're still verifying. That's interesting. If you're looking at table 3, the gentleman just showed an empty ballot box, so obviously clearly pointing out that there was no vote, no ballot papers in that box. It's an interesting question to ask. As it opens up the ballot box, there is some ballot papers in there. Maybe it was a little bit late. Maybe he'd already taken out the. Oh, actually, I think what he'd done is actually taken out the ballot papers. I hadn't seen. He'd taken out the ballot papers. I think he was showing that there was no ballot papers left in there. See if you can see it only halfway. Again, during the media bit, you will hear voices of relevant media parties who are also covering this process. So you can see table 3, Mandeville and the on-farm. The gentleman there is just handing out the ballot papers to, I don't know if they're volunteers actually. Is everybody here volunteer? Are they paid to do this? Maybe that's a question we can ask Paul, if I can find him. Looks like from what I'm seeing, exit poll is saying the Conservatives have the win. That's something on probably Sky or somewhere. Just past somebody who had it on. But we don't know. Now I've kind of alienated the media because I told them that the microphones are on. So the mic for the street, which is where you're looking at all the Aylesbury votes coming in, or the Aylesbury Constituency votes coming in. Here we go, a couple more boxes coming in. I wonder what they're for, or who they're for, or what table. So it's interesting, obviously, great queue in them. So obviously the counting is done here, the further afield areas will take longer to get here. But then again, I suppose you've also got the amount of people in those areas. Aylesbury is quite a big town, so there'll be more counting here. That's probably why it's broken down to each individual table, so they can speed up the process. Another good question to ask. Maybe I should actually grab myself a notepad and write this down. So I can actually know. Now, as well watching this, please share it. Let other people know who are staying up late at night to see what's going on in the election. Especially interested in this, if they've been following their candidates and they'd like to know what's going on in the process. Now, having you in this band, that kind of distinguished me as a media person. It's very interesting. Some people will stay away from me like I'm, especially if they're from one of the parties. Another couple of ballot boxes coming in. So I'll try and keep the stream. We are limited to a 3-hour stream each time with our Facebook. You know, we could probably live stream this on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. Won't hurt you, but helps us a lot in gaining popularity, as we say, and also monetization at some point after we hit over 1,000 subscribers. So if you do get a chance, please go to our YouTube channel. Click on the subscribe and voila, all done. So I don't know what the guy at this table for, I don't know if you can see this, he's doing something. I'm waiting for Paul to also gather up some of the candidates. Another couple of boxes coming in, other ballot boxes. It's past midnight. We've probably got this process, the verification process going on for another hour. Keep things busy. It's quite interesting. This part of the process is very... people in different places have different amounts of work to do. So obviously some are going to be working more than others. And then obviously vice versa, as they finish their count and other ones begin doing their count. I suppose it all depends on to get here. So then we can really go on a break until the verification process is complete. There's another ballot box coming. I do quite returning officer to hear her speech and what she has to say, because it was quite enlightening. But as the first time I was live streaming, what will I for next time? Got a council elections next year. But this whole process starts all over again. Okay, I was chatting to some media friends, just find out some of the roles that I'm sure some of you are getting. So far, Labour seems to be in the lead. The count's coming in. Something like 3-1. 3 for Labour, 1 for Conservative. So they were telling me the exit vote for exit polls are saying it's a Conservative win. So it would be really nice to speak to some of the candidates, but I'm not allowed to go down there. They're in a safe zone actually at the moment. So while I'm in the safe zone, I'm not allowed down there. It would be interesting in the Milton Keynes, north and south, see how that's going as well. So the verification process, just checking that the amount of votes in Carol Oak with paperwork, so the amount of votes that are taken have actually been done. The amount of votes taken out, counted, actually matches what the paperwork says from the polling station on the amount of votes that were cast, if cast is the right word to use. Everybody seems to be in good spirits. So all the friends of the relevant parties are making note, I think, of the bundles. Or maybe they're making a note of what the vote is. Because each time the person unfolds the paper, they put it face up in the pile, which allows them to see where the X is. So are they trying to do a sneak peek on how they are doing? It's interesting to get hold of those people and see, are they making a note on each different candidate or party, or is it on each, or just on their own party? Which, looking at them, it might be based on each party. Now the interesting thing, there's not enough chairs or maybe enough people for each table. This is democracy, isn't it? So the people, so we've got people who are counting the votes, not count the votes, so they're verifying. So they put them in bundles of 25, they then wrap them up, and then they're obviously given back to the supervisor. But we've got people on the outside of those tables who are making a note of each time the person unfolds the piece of paper, or the vote, and seeing where they voted, and they're marking it down on their tally chart. And obviously they'll go back later, probably type them in or calculate them, run some long arithmetic, and say the numbers. So they probably can get an understanding of how things are going. So looking down the line, we've got still a few ballot boxes to open. See, I'm on there at the moment, but you can still talk. No, it's okay. No, it's good, because it means I'm not on my own. So I was just explaining on this live feed that I'm looking at the people on the outside, and that they're actually watching the people as they turn, as a process. So they've got to do the vote. Who's done this as well? They're doing the vote. They've got to turn it upwards. So they're obviously making a note of who's been voted for. So I was trying to work out whether it was just for their party, or they're actually trying to work it out, is it for all parties? And it looks like most of them are noting it down for all parties. So I wonder if they all go into the canteen later. Do they do, Chair? So they'll go into that canteen there and they'll start saying, working out the numbers?
No, what they're doing at the moment, I think, is just counting, making sure there are the right number of ballots in the box before they start the
yeah, so they're doing a verification process on the left, aren't they? But look, what I believe the people on the right, who are from all the parties, they're actually making a note. They're actually looking, because it's faced up, they're actually making a note. Yeah. I might have to get Paul to grab one of them later. Give us a little lowdown on what's going on.
We're just going to go down to the cafe. I don't know if you want to come down, but there's sort of a few candidates milling around, and a few councillors and so on. There's a bit more atmosphere. It's entirely up to you. But
but I'm still live streaming, so unless I close the live stream and go down and speak to them. What time is it now? We've got.
Or you need the live streaming.
Yeah, I could do, couldn't I? All right. I'll try and drag them up here.
I'm sure they're keen to talk. A couple of our the other media colleagues have been interviewing candidates in the cafe. So.
Oh, have they? Okay.
What's the point of the verification process? Firstly, you need to make sure that you've got So they know how many people have registered to vote.
Yeah.
They know how many people have actually voted, and they've got to make sure the numbers all tally, the number of people that haven't showed and the spoiled papers. So they've got to make sure that all the totals. So
Are they pulling sport papers out here? Or are they just,
I think at the moment
it's just physical?
At the moment
counting.
it's just physical counting the numbers,
Right.
and then once that's done, they then switch over to counting the votes.
Right. And if you'd have watched the live stream earlier, you would have found out about all that.
And you see that every now and then on these tables, but it's different districts that they're doing. So once they've finished them all, they'll then move on to the next one. They change the report.
Oh, so table 3 will actually, it's actually got like different districts on it. I've got actually, oh, I thought they were all just, oh, okay. I get you.
So there aren't enough. So once they've counted Mandeville and Elm Farm,
Yeah, they then move on
they'll
to,
move on to another one and change the.
ah, right, okay. And where are the ballot boxes kept? So are they brought straight from the polling station and brought straight into here? Or are they kept in a holding area ready to come into this area?
No, I think you see where she's just taking them back. I think they're in that end room there.
Was that the Olympic?
The Jubilee room at the end.
Oh, okay.
There are several hundred of them, so they can't bring them all out at once.
No.
I can work harder. So the Jubilee room has a load of ballot boxes.
Probably once they've done this process, I might go on a Google it.
Quite interesting if you don't know the process and you come and watch it, isn't it? Is this your first time covering something like this?
First time, yeah.
And you work for Sky?
Yeah.
You work for Sky, is it? You work for Sky? Or,
Freelance.
Freelance, yeah.
I'll work for anybody and everybody.
No, that feeling.
Yeah, I'm coming down.
Okay, I'll put that on and I'll join you then. Oh, I can get down there, can't I?
Come down, you can't get back up again.
Yeah.
I might have to go and try and get these candidates myself. How long has the stream been going? Hello Jules, thanks for watching. Right, in the verification process, just had to explain again what it's all about. Any questions, please put them in the comments. We'll try and get Paul, who we had on earlier, to answer them, or maybe Jez. Or Jess from ABDC. Now we are trying to find out. I mean, we have got 4 candidates in the bin. I think we've got Labour, Green for Aylesbury. I'm not too sure if Andrew Bell is in the Oculus room, which is out the back. Kind of interesting from the freelance. He's working for Sky. I've never really covered this and really understood the process. So he was learning something today. So those new people. What? I'm starting to lose comms. Hello. So on the left, on the outside, so the brown tables on the left and right hand side, those people on the outside are actually from the parties, and they're kind of marking down how many votes have been coming in. I think so later on they can go back and tally it up and try and work out who's won. But at the moment in the verification process, so they're taking, well, they're counting all the votes that have come in on the ballot boxes. They then have paperwork that's obviously been filled in at the polling station. They then verify it all, make sure it collates that, you know, left equals right, and then they're ready to do the counting process. Only after the counting process sorry, after the verification process, can they begin the counting process? Now the people on the right, or sorry, on the outside of these brown tables, have said before, if they interfere with the process of the counting, or the verification here, £5,000 fine, 6 months in jail. Luckily I'm not allowed to go down there, because I would be put away for 6 months. Because just that way, what's that paper doing there? Please let us know any questions. Hope you're enjoying the stream. First time this has ever been done. For the Aylesbury area anyway. Paul Griffiths in earlier from the AVDC was explaining the process and how it's all going on. As you can see, the two people at the back there, they're coming over here actually. Come over to the street, which is where the Aylesbury count is going on. Up the top in the middle there is the oculist room where the Buckingham count is going on. Now, I don't know if you can make it out, but right at the top on the left is where they're keeping the ballot boxes. They're being stored there where they come from the polling stations and then brought all the way into here. I think it's once all the ballot papers are taken out. They can begin, or actually, once they start doing a new area. So for instance, Table 3 is now changed to Southport. So I think that's where they bring all the ballot boxes from the Southport area and then they start counting. So they're going to work out how many votes have been cast, double check against the polling station. No, he's just opened it. So I saw this earlier. He just opened it. It's empty. And then he's obviously showed it to everybody to say that, look, there's no votes in there. Let's have a quick word with Andrew. Oh no, he's having his sandwich. Well, let him have his little break. Hello, Lisa Strong. Any questions? Just let us know. So anybody who's just joined us on the left, well, on the outside, those people from the parties are watching the people who are counting and put them into 25 for the verification process. People on the outside, if they interfere with the people doing their work on the inside of those tables, £5,000 fine, 6 months in jail, either or. If you've got any questions, I will try and get them dealt with for you. So we're looking at about 1 o'clock once this verification process is over and they can start to begin to start the count. There's a couple more boxes coming. Stocky Church and Red Match. Nope. Cold Harbour. Ah, here we go, Cold Harbour, your votes are going to start to be verified shortly. I don't know if Wendover and Holton has been done. I've not seen any ballot papers, but... to be honest, in this day and age of electronic information age, will all these people be out of a job once they start doing electronic votes? Because the system would verify it. So I'll just quickly ask Paul if he's available. Quick question, are the people on the inside, so the people who are counting into sets of 25, yeah, are they paid or are they volunteers? They're paid. Do we know how much they're paid?
I don't know, but I can find out.
No.
Small amount. I think it's in the region of about £70 to £80. But of course their shift starts at 9 o'clock
Yeah.
and it continues through till whenever the count finishes, 5, 6 in the morning. They get a flat rate fee for doing the job, however long it lasts.
So if it finishes early, you still get the same amount.
Yeah, but I mean it won't finish before 5. But if there's a recount, it can run to 6 or 7.
Okay.
And they will have had to have done a training session as well for that. So they'll have a training session, they'll come to a briefing, and now they've got.
Are they paid for that as well, or?
They'll all be in the one fee.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And how long's the training session?
I do it a couple of hours probably. There isn't a huge amount to be learned. I've done counting before. I mean, the main thing is accuracy, relative speed, but more important than speed is accuracy.
Okay. So make sure you put it in the right pile in the counting process.
And well, yes, when they now, I mean, they're still doing the verification count. All the boxes are now in the building.
Oh, okay.
But not all the boxes are on the counting floor.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting to know.
So there's still.
So they're in the Jubilee room, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're in the Jubilee room. No more needs to come in. You know, whatever. So I did see some empty boxes, or I believe I saw some empty boxes. They were still sealed up. Obviously, I suppose for security reasons. But the guy cut them open, cut open the tabs, opened them up, showed it to everyone. So that was done. Is that exactly part of the process?
Yes.
So is there a certain amount of ballot boxes that are sent to each polling station?
Yes.
And
so we normally take a judgment. So you will have found quite small ballot boxes that will come in from villages where there might only be 1,000 voters, and they know they're only going to maybe get 500-600 in the box. There are some, particularly in town centres like Buckingham, like Aylesbury, where you've got quite a large number of voters coming into that one polling station.
Right.
They might have been sent out with 3 boxes.
Oh, okay.
And it could be that for whatever reason they only needed to use 2, so the third box came back empty.
Yeah, but they seal it up, don't they?
Still sealed to make sure no one can put any papers in there.
There we go, that's why then.
And then that would have, again, it would have been opened, it would have been shown, because the people sitting on the outside of the tables are the people who are there representing the candidates to make sure that the count is done fairly and accurately.
They're making their notes though of their own, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they interrupt, £5,000 fine, 6 months in jail. That's what I've heard. That's what I've read. It's in the notes that you sent me.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you used level 5, but somebody said it was £5,000 and 6 months in jail.
I think for interference in the ballot, yes.
Yeah.
But see, they're not allowed to touch the papers or interfere with the papers, but if they feel they see something going on that shouldn't be going on, they can draw the attention of the
supervisor
for each.
Which is the guy on the white, or girl, on the white table. Yep.
Yeah.
And are they work for the AVDC, or are they obviously paid personnel or volunteers or whatever it is?
No, they're paid, but the funding comes from general taxation. So we recover the costs. So again, they won't be on their normal rate. They will get a fee for the night for taking this role.
A flat rate, basically.
A flat rate.
Yeah. So is that more than what the people on the outside, the people on the brown tables get?
I would say, yeah. It's like at the polling station. You'll have a presiding officer who's in charge, and their job is to open the polling station, make sure the polling station is working properly, make sure that everything runs smoothly, deal with any issues, but they will be supported by a poll clerk.
Yeah.
The presiding officer, because they have that additional responsibility, gets an additional payment, a bit more than the poll clerk does, whose job purely is to check off people as they come in, provide them with their ballot paper, and let them know what they have to do if they need any assistance, but it doesn't deal with any tricky issues. Like we've had issues where someone has turned up.
Sorry about that. We were caught short of battery. So, Paul, carry on. So we've had situations where somebody had come to a polling station and found that a person with their name had already voted. Their name was crossed off the electoral register.
Oh,
now, we don't know whether that was a clerical error, but they can be given a tendered paper and certain prescribed questions can be asked of that person. to check their identity. So that obviously would need the presiding officer to get involved and make sure that that person was legitimately able to cast their vote. We had someone phone in who said it's outrageous. I've registered to vote, but I'm not on the electoral register. But on checking it, discovered that they'd actually gone to the wrong polling station.
Okay.
So we were able to sort that out, and they were able to get to the correct polling station. So the presiding officer has a range of issues that they have had to deal with. Maybe they're assisting a disabled person, someone with a visual impairment, someone who's blind, who needs support to cast their vote, and make sure they can do that, and do that in a manner that allows them to retain a degree of secrecy about their ballot. So presiding officers got certain responsibilities more than the poll clerk, so that's why they get paid just a little bit more, but not a huge amount. If you were to work out on an hourly rate, given that they've probably got to have arrived at the polling station at 6 o'clock this morning, made sure everything is ready, run the polling station through to 10 o'clock, close everything up, bring the ballot box back to AVDC. So they probably left home at 5:30 this morning, and they'll have got home at 11:30 tonight. It's a long day for people, a long day.
I can just well imagine. I mean, I've seen all the work. I was in there obviously today, checking around. Everybody's helping me out. I saw people coming in and people getting ready. So obviously they get paid, and they say they should. Is there a certain amount of people you're allowed to have helping, so to speak, and get paid for? You can set a budget. I think that's really what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the more electors you have, I don't know whether there's a formula that they have to work to. So that the fact that we've got 170,000 roughly voters in the two constituencies, whether there's a percentage, or whether we've got a pretty slick team here. I think the team I've seen working do a very good job. We have very few hiccups along the way. Most things are sorted pretty quickly. Well, I don't know whether there's a formula that says you're allowed to have so many count assistants, because obviously there will be a budget. There has to be with everything. It's it's public money after all, and it's got to be properly accounted for.
I've worked in the NHS, so yeah, I totally understand that.
So they may well have a formula that says that given the number of electors, you could have this many counting clerks.
Okay. Because obviously, like Newcastle, they get theirs done really quickly. I mean, like, is it Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle South, isn't it? It came in first, and they tend to race to do that. So whether they put extra people on because they like that kudos of being the first parliamentary seat to declare, I don't know. And if they do put extra people on, whether they're allowed to claim that from the public purse, or whether they have to accommodate some of that themselves, I don't know.
An interesting question to ask them, isn't it? How do they afford to do that? Because obviously, if you have X amount, and you've obviously got to get it all done. I mean, if there is a formula, then they'll still have the same, all those votes that come in.
Part of it could well be, obviously Newcastle South is probably within Newcastle City, so it's probably a quite tight geographical area. Okay. So people can get in quite quickly. Here, because we're in a rural constituency, I mean, the last ballot box didn't get into the building till about midnight, 2 hours after the vote closed. So and then you've got to do the verification count before you can do. So we're still doing the verification count. There are still ballot boxes to be brought, having been checked. They then got to be brought onto the counting floor before they can do the verification.
Checked in the Jubilee room.
They get checked in the Jubilee room. So when they arrive, all the paperwork is brought in by the presiding officer from that particular poll station. We have to double check and verify that the number of ballot papers issued matches the number of ballot papers that think we've got in the box, the paperwork basically. And then the physical check is done when it's brought into the counting room to physically count the papers. But I am. It's the man downstairs, I think, telling me that somebody's arrived.
Well, we're going to deal with that, and we'll catch up a little bit later.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you very much once again.
Pleasure.
You're a man who can help people out. So informative and so helpful. So my roaming mic has kind of stopped working, so I need to get some more batteries. So while I do that, I'll just put you back onto the floor, or known as the street. We can watch all the people as they continue on with their verification process.
So I reckon the verification process will be finished about 1 o'clock. Paul was so helpful in delivering our information. All ballot boxes are in the building, so that's all good news. And the count will start shortly. Now, after the verification process is finished, there is a break. So as we have the break, what we're going to do is stop the live stream and start another one back up once the break is over. As more media people have arrived, things will get busy. I think they're all here for the count mainly. But hopefully the verification process will be passed and will be won't be a 5 o'clock finish, in the morning finish, but more like hopefully 4. So if you've got any questions you'd like me to ask Paul or anybody else, I mean, obviously once we see the actually, any questions for the candidates? If we've got any questions for the candidates, I can ask them when they pop up and see us in the media centre. Because obviously the media centre is where they all stay away from, I think. I don't know if it's bad luck to come and speak to media prior to the count. Looks like table 7's all complete, all done. Maybe the verification process is coming to an end. So at the break, I'll probably try and properly see if there's any candidates we can chat to. Understand what's going on, understand why they're not coming up to the media suite. I'm sure Paul's tried his best to get them to come up here, but nothing yet. Quite just on my FBL t-shirt that we now create, clearly stating that if you see us then you need to stay clear because you could be on social media. Quite interesting. Maybe that's why I stayed away. I'm clearly stating on this t-shirt I'm wearing you will be on social media if you go anywhere near me. So all ballot boxes are in. And they're just finishing off the verification process, so they're all coming in, being opened. Packed into stacks of 25, face up, where everybody, so they put them onto the white tables, calculate how they are, and then they'll verify with their polling stations numbers, make sure that the numbers of votes cast is actually the amount of people who attended or cast a vote. So looking back, Aylesbury information. I've already told us 170,111 people could vote. You can see how many actually come in. 170,111. Oh no, 2 more ballot boxes coming. Now I don't know if you can see this. Right at the bottom there's a table, 4 people on there. I think they're the people who do the double checking. I'll have to ask Paul. Luke's the returning officer up there and the deputy returning officer. The Southport's getting all sorted. And then the bundles are in 25. I can't really make out the numbers from here. Great Human seems to be done. I think he's putting them back. Aston Clinton Estate Mandeville. Cable 1. So the verifying of the vote. The purpose of the verification is to check that the total number of ballot papers in the ballot boxes at each polling station match the number that were issued by the polling staff. This will be carried out as follows. Each table will verify the boxes that they have been allocated. The ballot papers will be counted face up and sorted into bundles of 25. The verified ballot papers will be put onto the tables behind the supervisor until all the ballot papers for the polling station have been counted and tallied with the ballot paper count. The ballot boxes containing postal votes will be dealt with the same manner as those dealt with during the day. Will be verified first. Each table will have a postal ballot box. The boxes containing postal votes handed in at polling stations will be transported to the count area as soon as they have been processed. The supervisor will keep the verified papers in containers at their table. Count staff will be allowed a break once their table has been verified. The count will begin once all tables have verified and had a break. So once all the verification process is over, they'll be sorting and counting the votes. The ballot papers will be sorted face up into bundles of 25 according to the candidates voted for. The bundles will be checked and then put onto the table behind the supervisor in the relevant designated space for the candidate. So that'll be interesting. That's where we'll start to see where the votes are going. So we might actually get a little indication on who's heads up and who's winning. So looking at the tables, I can actually see, I can actually make out. So if you're looking at table 7, which is on your left, which is the third one, well, it's the one nearest the screen on the left. They've actually started putting that in to the order of where they will put the ballot. So the ballots obviously say the name of the party, so it's the name of the party, and obviously it's left or right side of the table. So that's obviously how it all goes. Very interesting. That's part of the process. Didn't know what happened. It's a verification process. I thought they just bought the meeting and started counting. But obviously I was wrong once again. Life's a little bit more difficult than we expect. More complicated in the process sort of way. Seven minutes to 12, so 7 minutes to 1. Just seen a Lib Dem representative. Don't know which one. Stephen Lambert. And Stephen Gorell is here as well. I'm on the bridge. Unable. I don't think it'll be right for me to shout down. So it looks like Great Hewingdon. One area that's left. I can't see anywhere else that's doing any verification. So I presume we'll shortly be hearing from the returning officer, Teresa, in this case, Honourable Deputy. So Great Hewingdon, looks like they're passing the votes to the supervisor, who's putting them onto the white table, and obviously collating them to see that all the information is correct at the rate of votes they're in. Oh no, looks like Stoke and Church and Radley, they have another ballot box. Just saw the supervisor double checking stuff, making sure the right ones are in the right places. I don't know what's going on, there's obviously some laughing going on down there. So I think they will say the Stoke and Church and Red Madge. The supervisor splitting it between more people to get it through quickly. I see Teresa's asking a few questions. The returning officer, that is. Making sure all moving along nicely. Stoke and Church have another ballot box. No open that. Oh, then off to go to the other table. So I see what the supervisor is doing. We're splitting a table of 8 before obviously working on one ballot box while the other 4 are working on the other ballot box. You probably can't see that in the TV shot. Remember, any questions, just note them down and we'll try and find information for you. So what you're watching here is the Aylesbury Constituency, and out the back, through the doors, is the Oculus room, which has the Buckingham constituency count going on, or actually verification process. Now I think the returning officer, obviously for the Oculus room, which we're doing Buckingham, I don't think they want to announce on this side, which is the other side. So Interestingly enough, we will bring you the Buckingham sort of information when it's available. I don't know if they've actually started yet. It's quite interesting to ask Paul, really, how many voters there is in their constituency. Have a little update here. So far, from what information I have, all over the country, Labour have 8 seats so far, Conservatives have 2. Early days at the moment. So 650 seats, 326 needed for the majority. We have what? We have 30 candidates in the total Buckinghamshire area. We have 7 seats available. Now a majority of the result will be in, I would believe, before our result comes in. The Guardian is reporting UK General Election 2019. Exit poll predicts 86-seat Tory landslide majority. It looks like everything's coming for verification in.
Yeah. I need to talk some more.
Steve
Right.
The media are starting to move. Obviously the verification process is coming to an end. Cold Harbour seems to have a lot left to do. I could put my head over the side of the bridge to actually see what's going on. So it looks like Stoke Church and Radney. We've done all those. As I watch the supervisor, who's going to pick them up. Great Hewenden still being counted and put into 25 bundles. Once this verification process is over, we can start the count. We can actually have a break and we'll obviously pause the stream. Okay, I'm watching table 4, Stoke Church and Redmond. I'm watching the supervisor as he tags up a bag that is clear with boats in it. So that's a secure way of saying that that bag has now been checked and is ready. So I'm a freelance photographer, so the question is, would you, for £80, do all that counting?
Yes. Quite happy to do that counting.
Bearing in mind, we're talking from 10 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's worth it, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 25. Stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got to admit, this is the first time I've seen this process ever. I didn't know all this that went into it.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, that you don't know.
No.
Very strange.
It is.
How did you think it all happened? So you get your vote, you put it in the box, you go down the pub.
Yeah.
So what did you think happened after you did that?
It goes off, it gets counted. Job done.
Yeah. So you thought the ballot box came in,
Yeah.
you know, I suppose when it fills up, put the lid on, a couple of little markers on it, yeah, nobody can tamper with it. Yeah, drive it to the counting place.
Yeah.
You got, you know, as I thought, big table, somebody comes out, throws the votes out, there you go, count them,
Yeah.
off you go.
Exactly.
And then somebody thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
That's
10.
what I imagined.
Yeah. But actually it's not. They've got a verification. It's like over there, they're not working on the left side now. They're actually gone for the break. But everybody, they can't start the counting. They can't the break. And hopefully that includes me. Oh, speak for yourself. You're all that little walk up. I'm actually trying to make this, you know, trying to keep it going. So, not many views yet, but how many there will be. I think it's one of those markers. I don't think there's ever, I don't know if anybody's ever actually covered the whole process. I might say how it's done, but I think it's also the democratic sort of thing.
Yeah.
People could actually watch this later. So, you know, you can't really see Cold Harbour, Stoke and Choke. The camera we got there, but yeah, it's an interesting process.
It is.
Eye-opening.
It is an eye-opener.
God help anybody when I next go down the pub with my mates, dare ask a question about the voting process. Because I'm going to have at least 8 hours of information to probe.
You'll be your article.
I will be, yes. Like 170,111 votes could be cast. So there's a number to remember. Ask me tomorrow, I won't have a clue. So if we do the lottery. I've got this number in my head, 17, 10 and 11. But yeah. Well, I think they're finished.
They appear to have finished. They appear to be going for their break.
I would have thought the returning officer would announce that the verification.
Doing their final figures.
Yeah.
And will announce it to us.
Geez, yeah, you would believe she's going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure Paul said she was.
I believe that's what's going to happen, but
So where are you from?
I am for the Black Herald.
No, as in, where do you live?
Buckingham.
Oh, you live in Buckingham? Oh, so that's an interesting.
So I get a vote.
Ah, you find that. How long has it been since your vote?
Well, a long time. I don't know.
It's
been a very long time.
It has, because I think it's had it for what, 10 years?
Yeah, at
10,
least.
yeah.
Even, yeah.
Because it wasn't. I mean, yeah. Because all the other candidates would step aside. Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to.
Sorry, is it nice? Yeah, with the vote. Was it the talk of the town?
I think it was, to be fair.
Was it like you go down the pub or you? Anyway, I mean, I keep mentioning pub, but obviously there's other places to frequent, like coffee shops and everything.
Yeah, no, the sort of the resident Facebook group. Often what matters, it's everybody's very happy that they could finally vote and have a say.
Never thought of that. That. I mean, I think it's quite interesting because you've got obviously Burko.
Yeah.
I had this yesterday. I was chatting to Andrew Bell, and I couldn't remember he was like the Speaker of the House. Yeah. And I couldn't. It was a Burko or Burko, and he didn't help me out. He just left me, strung me out. I mean, Andrew, he was the first, from the breakfast bar, he was the first one to jump on board and, yes, we'll do this live stream thing, you can call me, I know, which is lovely, especially helps us out. And I was like, really? I mean, mates, girlfriend, everybody laughing at me, saying, how could you not? You banged on about him. I love the way he used to, come on the house. If I could get him on here, it'd be great. I'll do. But yeah, so was it? I don't know. Is it mainly Conservative before in Buckingham? Because that's what it was showing. That I've seen on some of them. It wasn't really something I could really show because it's been so long.
Yeah. No. Much like Aylesbury. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Alexa Collins also was talking to us, but that was in Beaconsfield. But was it Greg Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg Smith.
Yeah.
So he spoke to us as well online, which was cool. He was out and about.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
The Labour candidate even talked to us. Which I thought was interesting because, I mean, this is me what I'm doing. I mean, spoke to, four or five candidates yesterday. And it was like, the other one, I had loads of communications back saying, oh, we're too busy. It's like, okay, you're going to spend, let's say spend half an hour. So in that half an hour, how many people would you speak to? Or how many pieces of paper are you going to push through people's doors? But you can go on a medium, like I said, I said to a few people, if everybody, or all 30 candidates had spoke to me, and I mean, I'm doing this, got charging them, it's not coming out of anybody else's budget, I'm doing it off my own back, my company. And if all 30 done it, then everybody would have anybody could listen to. I gave them a 2-minute challenge. I said, right, you've got 2 minutes to tell them what you're saying, basically.
Yeah.
And the 4 candidates I spoke to did. But if all 30 had done it, it would have been interesting. It would have been a place where you could, you could actually find out. Was there any Huskies?
There was 2 Huskies.
Were they advertised very well?
Yeah.
They were? Were they in the local press?
I think they were in local press, yeah. Yes, they were.
Were they on the radio?
They were on I don't know about the radio. They were certainly social media and certainly local press.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I found it hard. I mean, then again, I'm busy hard working, but I found it hard to find out about where the Huskies. As soon as I started typing in, the Aylesbury Huskies, I got a lot of too early, you got too late. But
Buckingham University organised one.
Yeah. Buckingham University?
Yeah.
Okay.
They organised one. It was very good apparently. I didn't go, and I didn't see the result. Apparently very good.
Well, I live streamed Beaconsfield and Wickham, but the Wickham one, the one that happened at the Buckingham University in Wickham, I was told I asked to come too late in the day and it wasn't fair on the candidates, they didn't know it was going to be live streamed. Yeah, I thought that. I'm sorry, but if you're standing, like this is another thing, if people didn't want to speak to me yesterday because they're camera shy, then you shouldn't be going for MP.
No, exactly.
You literally can't be camera shy with me.
Be prepared for any
maybe
comes your way.
Yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. But yeah, live streaming the Huskies was quite interesting. The Beaconsfield one with Dominic was agreed he's becoming independent, he's not Conservative anymore, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, he had a 40%, above Labour.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if he leaves, he's now no longer Conservative, so will that split the Conservative vote 30%, 40%? Will he win? Will Conservative and him lose because Labour's actually, it's given them a chance?
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
It is interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I think this election is probably one of the best, sort of, because there's also the Brexit.
Yeah.
You may have voted Labour, you may have voted Conservative or Liberal Democrat all your life, and then all of a sudden you get thrown into this deep end where it's like, well, actually, if I actually want to leave Europe, so I've been a Green Party candidate all my life, Green Party follow it, and now I'm going to have to vote Conservative. You know what I mean? It's that, or even if you're a Conservative, you'd have to go, well, I don't want to leave Europe. So do I vote Labour?
Yeah.
I think it literally was, you know, like get a grenade and throwing it into the centre and everybody just jumping out. I had a few people said to me they didn't know who to vote for, so they're not going to vote. And that, you know, that's why I did today about 5 o'clock. I got enough to do, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a little broadcast, telling everybody to get out there and vote. You've got 4 hours to vote. Saying that you can't be bothered isn't an answer. You know, not you can't be bothered, you just don't know who to vote for. You know, make a decision.
Exactly.
Grow up, you're over 18 years of age, get on with it. There you go. You know, you think of democracy and, you know, the things that have gone on in World War. I'm not going on that beach. I've got to think about it for a minute. If the bullet comes from the left to the right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, you can't make the decision of voting. I don't understand. And to be honest, not to vote, I think, is worse than voting, even if you vote wrong, for instance. You know, it doesn't matter who to me, it doesn't matter who you vote for as long as you vote. And I've spoken to people and told them exactly who they should be voting for, you know, in what they believe. And I said, you know, that's the sort of thing you follow. And they go, because they know, you know, who I might have voted for instance. And they'll go, oh, that's interesting. And I'll go, well, as long as you vote, because I was always thought, you know, people have died for us to have the ability to vote.
Exactly.
Just go out there and vote, make your own decisions in life, deciding who you should.
Yeah.
Who you believe will actually do better for you or mankind, so to speak. Oh, don't see any more ballot boxes coming in, do you?
I do not. I think we are getting nearer the point of count.
Yeah, let's take some. Okay. Speak to yourself. That's Teresa, so she's, yeah. Is she finally going to do the announcement? So I've got a limit on the stream of like 3 hours or something, so I can then have a break and I turn it back on. But I mean, obviously everybody's got to have a break, so do they have a break after she's told, or do they have the break and then they've had their break and then she tells us, okay, there's the counting process. I'll be like, great, so I don't get a break. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping I get my breaks. Danger there, isn't it? They're going on a break. So jealous they're going on a break. Cold Harbour. Oh, Cold Harbour Club. They were quick. I thought they were behind schedule. They're done. They're gone. They're gone for a break.
I think everybody's done.
There we are. Are you aware of the £5,000 level 5 fine anyway, or 6 months in jail?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you read that, or were you told that? Or?
I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, in the pamphlet you were given?
Yeah, my long lens will be kept away.
Does make you think, hang on a sec.
I don't want anyone to be.
What did you do? I don't know. I zoomed in when I shouldn't. Fell over the table and then spoiled all the votes or something. Knew I should have had a coffee. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So people on the live stream, you won't be able to see, but Cold Harbour Table 5, which is underneath basically the bridge. Gentleman's there's doing some calculations with a calculator. Summing up, obviously, making sure all the numbers tally. And it does look like everybody's been on a break, or it's got a break. 8 seconds. Is it counting time? could quickly ask Paul, our oracle of information. Quick question. Will the returning officer tell us when the verification process is finished?
Yes.
She will. That's okay.
My understanding, I just went downstairs because I said to Teresa, it looks like it's getting close in Aylesbury, so no, we've got poster bars to send out.
Oh, okay.
And the table is still full of papers, so there's still a way to go.
So, if the verification is Aylesbury and Buckingham totally different, so Aylesbury can start counting before Buckingham is. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I said that to Teresa. I said, will you wait for Buckingham before you announce the verification and then proceed with Aylesbury? She said,
Okay.
the impression I have is if it moved ahead quite quickly, she obviously her people go home anyway, let them get on and do the counting.
Yeah.
So I think she probably will go soon. But if it looked like Buckingham's going to be ready in
Then she'll wait. Yeah, that seemed logical though, wouldn't it?
but she should make the announcement in the hall.
Yeah. Which I missed at the start because I was still setting up. No, I didn't miss. The people on this live stream who are listening or watching, or who will watch and listen. So, okay. Thank you very much, Paul. A mine of information once again. Oh, you are doing the best. You're doing good. So there you have it. There will be an announcement. The only point is Buckingham is joined in with the Aylesbury, who are in the office room out the back. You heard it live exactly what Paul said. But just to clarify, and it looks like all ballots have been counted and seems to be verified. That was interesting. I thought somebody was, or one of the supervisors of can't open, something official, whatever. Bagging up. That made me look like an idiot. So let's have a quick look. So, Julie, Julie Jules Aylesbury. I didn't get to vote, couldn't get there. Could you explain a little bit more what you mean? Where couldn't you get to? You could have asked Paul. It's not an excuse, Julie. There's always the ability to vote. There's even postal votes actually. I mean, Paul was saying about this earlier, they've got them to count, so they've still got them to go. And Buckingham does have a load of votes to count, but I think here's the postal votes coming in. So where can you get to, Jules? No question. Sorry, I didn't see that. I was looking at the election stuff earlier. Then also my phone was in my pocket, so I couldn't see the questions coming in. So when they were in Holton, postal votes were coming in there. I do think the postal vote must be counted first. Now there's somebody I know. I don't know if he's Lib Dems or Conservative. That was a chair moving. So, just found one of our Liberal Democrat person I know. We've just asked him to chase after Stephen Lambert, see if he can come up for an interview. We're still waiting for the process to finish, or the verification process. I was going to look at how the results are coming in. I'm sure lots of you could see that quite easily. So Labour has 11 seats at 139. And no, 11 Labour seats, 8 Conservative, 1 Scottish National. See if the Liberal Democrats in a moment. I have no idea where these votes have come from. Until it's not from Aylesbury or Buckingham. So I don't know if we're going to be waiting for the Buckingham verification to be finished before we move on to the counting. But usually all staff counters, got a name, they need to have a break. For the last one to finish, or the last group to finish, last table, they need to have a break before they continue on. Teresa, who's the returning officer, will hopefully tell us that she's getting up. Can't even zoom in because really we have to, under the laws, don't want that 6 months imprisonment, £5,000 fine. I'm not allowed to show anything about the ballot papers. Wendover and Holton's getting wrapped up. So after this is done, we will stop the stream and start another one. After I've had a break. Because usually we have about 3 hours on the stream. That seems to be our safe zone. Anything after that could be cut short. Which hopefully we will get Teresa telling us it's all done, so we can do it. We're in the 3 hour window. Okay, Jules, what is it about? Happy hour broadcast in Jubilee Hall, Beerton. I applied for postal vote before going on holiday, knowing I've off, had my operation and can't get out of the house. Couldn't hear back from the local authority. I'll take that up with Paul later. Paul is talking to somebody at the moment. Well, I will chase that up, Jules. Any other questions from anybody? seem to be good spirits. I do like to see that actually. Everybody seems to be chatting away. People left and right side of the table. It seems to be a bit of a laugh. I mean, obviously it's a lot of work, a lot of counting. But nobody's offered me a sweet. Some Haribo's down there. Oh, Starburst. Oh, Starburst. Haribo. Right, George, let's see if we can get this sorted for you. I'll come up with that. He's still talking. It's a shame, Jules. We will get an answer to your question. Here's one of those. So it's interesting to hear from a Buckingham voter. That's a talk of the town because they finally get to vote. So being the Speaker of the House does mean your constituents do not get the ability to say they don't want you to be their MP. So there's a gentleman going around giving away red things. I don't know what they are. I'm going to try and find out. I have no idea what they are. Okay. It's the cards for each of the parties, which means we must be getting close to the counting. So, see, when they put them into piles, they obviously put this card at the top of the pile. Say there's 25, for instance, for Conservatives, 25 for Labour, Liberal Democrats. Now once again, I've got to thank the AVDC for allowing me this amount of access. Show this whole process without complaint, and doesn't have backers to be helpful. One can't complain. So you'll be able to see table 2 and table 8. Obviously they're changing what towns, or I should say which village or which area they are sorting.
catch that. It just,
No, I didn't catch that. Ah, good news. Good news.
for Aylesbury.
For Aylesbury, how's Buckingham doing?
Didn't say that they did the Aylesbury one first. I think Aylesbury normally finishes before Buckingham anyway.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Buckingham was still very busy when I went in
Yeah.
a while ago.
Okay, thank you very much. Here's a question one of the people put on. She tried for a postal vote or going on holiday. No, she's going to have an operation. Couldn't get out of the house, but didn't hear back from the local authority. What should she have done? Is there a hotline number that...
Yeah, I mean, she could have phoned us, because I mean...
This is going out live, by the way.
Yeah, she could have phoned us, because we do have a hotline. Tonight we've been taking calls on that.
Okay.
Because we've had people that couldn't vote at polling stations, things like that, because the registration was at the wrong
Polling station.
or they'd gone to the wrong polling station. So I was up there earlier and answering the phone to people saying, look, give me a postcode, right, I can see you should be at this polling station, where are you? Or you're in the wrong place, you need to go.
So what if somebody couldn't get there?
If they can't get to the polling station, if they haven't registered for a postal vote, then they won't be able to vote, they have to go to the polling station.
Okay. So,
But the lady that had a postal vote should have had a letter with the details.
okay.
But if she hadn't received it, then she would have had to have called us to say, I haven't received it.
Okay. So stay on top of it, keep calling.
There's no way that we would.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let them know. That's all.
Tricky one. It's a bit late now, because that was a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. Was there a hotline number?
Well, there is a on all of the correspondence that's gone out, there should be a telephone number to contact us on,
Oh, okay.
which goes through to the election team. There's an email address, I think, as well.
Okay. Yeah. Is she going to do it from there?
She will probably do it from the table for contact.
I don't think so. She's, I think she might do the result. Yeah, she might do it to make it. She's not going to do the result as we talked earlier. Is that about? Still, there's going to be loads of paper there.
Then we've just taken it. It's going to go into the night.
Now, am I safe to zoom into her or not?
Yes, because there's no voting papers to.
I'm sorry.
The verified ballot papers, 60,855. The turnout, 70.22%. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will now be ready to start counting the votes. Buckingham is still verified, so they will start slightly later. So we are now going to sort the ballot papers into votes of candidates, identify and adjudicate on doubtful ballot papers, and establish how many votes each candidate has. More any questions, please ask any member of the senior team. They'll be happy to assist. Some ballot papers need to be looked at more carefully because, for example, the voter has marked their ballot paper in some way which means their intention is not obvious or they appear to have voted for more than one candidate. These ballot papers will need to be adjudicated to determine whether they should be rejected or accepted. I will be assisted by the Alley Council's monitoring officer for this purpose. The adjudication of doubtful ballot papers will commence almost immediately once the counting of votes has started and will be an ongoing process. Announcements will be made when this is happening and candidates and agents will gather at the adjudication table next to the top table, that's that point there. Once all the votes have been counted and a provisional result has been established, I will consult with candidates and agents and determine whether any recounts are necessary. I will make a further announcement shortly before the final results are ready to be declared so that you can make your way to the declaration area. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, can we start the count?
So there we have it. Verification's over, the counting is beginning. We're going to close the feed for a little bit and then restart it back up. I'm going to go for a break, try and round up some of the candidates, and then we'll wait and see how the votes come in. So please keep watching. Wow. I'm going to start the feed. Please like, follow, do go to our YouTube channel, and click subscribe. So as you can see they're laying out different coloured cards to go in onto each one of the piles that they have. So we're going to finish up for a moment and come back shortly.